Yeah, the thing I find most tricky is when people don't recognize you particularly, but half recognize you.
The boy who stuttered so badly that classmates called him an alien would one day become the most loved comedian on earth. Yet Rowan Atkinson's rise carried a hidden weight that stayed with him for decades because the moment he stepped on stage, something unbelievable happened. His stutter disappeared completely, but only when he performed, and that strange gift shaped every part of his future. Each Mr. Bean episode drained him deeply, and he later admitted he often felt like a fraud pretending to be confident while holding childhood pain he never escaped. Rowan Sebastian Atkinson was born on January 6, 1955, in Consett County, Durham. The youngest of 4 boys, and after his oldest brother Paul died as a baby. He grew up quietly on a farm, living a disciplined life far different from the loud characters he would one day play. Around age 5, his stutter began, and school became painful, especially at a Durham Chorister School, where classmates mocked the way he spoke and called him an alien, while Tony Blair watched how tough things were for him. But on stage, something magical happened. His voice became smooth, and that painful struggle opened the door to his greatest strength. He excelled in academics, earned top grades, and went to Newcastle University in 1973 to study engineering, later moving to Oxford for a master's degree and even starting a PhD before realizing he belonged somewhere else. Teachers said he never stood out in class, but on stage, he transformed completely, and everything changed when he met Richard Curtis in 1976, who saw a quiet man suddenly reveal genius through his driving sketch and mime routine. That same year, Rowan performed at the Edinburgh Fringe, and audiences saw a smart, silent, and unforgettable performer who relied on physical storytelling instead of words. Even while writing his engineering thesis, he continued acting, which led to his first big radio project, The Atkinson People, in 1979. A show critics praised, even though audiences missed it due to its odd timing. But behind the scenes, he struggled as the BBC rejected him repeatedly and his stutter returned during auditions, leaving him discouraged until he realized his characters freed him completely, and once he became someone else, his confidence returned. He kept performing with friends like Angus Dayton, who provided stability on stage, and in 1979, he returned to the Edinburgh Fringe, building the stage by hand and performing a mostly silent show that reminded people of Buster Keaton. Many walked out, but others saw something extraordinary in how he moved and expressed emotion without speaking. That same year, he created a TV pilot called Canned Laughter, featuring an early version of Mr. Bean, and although it was not picked up, it proved how much potential he had. In 1980, he appeared on Wogan at age 25 and finally learned to hide his stutter through performance, and soon the BBC gave him a chance on Not the 9 O'Clock News. Its first episode aired on October 16, 1979, and almost no one watched, but the BBC controller believed in it and renewed it, which changed British comedy forever. Rowan worked with Pamela Stephenson, Mel Smith, and Griff Rhys-Jones, but tension grew behind the scenes, especially when the budget was cut and actors were replaced. Then came the famous Gerald the Gorilla sketch in 1980, where Rowan delivered the furious line, "Wild, I was absolutely livid," which became iconic and helped the show win major awards. The cast was exhausted by 1982 and walked away at the peak of success, and Rowan, who struggled with anxiety, needed a break too. In 1983, he launched Blackadder with Richard Curtis. The first season was expensive, and critics were not impressed, but an international award saved it, and with Ben Elton joining as co-writer, the show became sharper and funnier, with unforgettable characters like Queenie and Baldric, while Rowan reshaped Edmund into one of the cleverest characters in British comedy. By 1989, Blackadder goes forth stunned audiences. With its emotional World War I setting, and its final scene became one of the most powerful endings in TV history. Rowan said working with Hugh, Laurie, and Stephen Fry was the least stressful period of his career because they trusted each other completely. Then, in 1990, Mr. Bean arrived and changed everything. The first episode drew more than 13 million viewers, and soon the show spread across the world because almost no dialogue was needed, allowing every country to enjoy it equally. But playing Mr. Bean drained Rowan emotionally because every expression and movement took precision, and he often said he looked forward to filming ending because it exhausted him. Even though the 1997 Bean movie earned over $250 million, he still felt tired. And by 2002, he created the animated version to continue the character without putting so much pressure on his body. In 2012, he played Bean one last major time. At the London Olympics, a performance watched by hundreds of millions, but one that left him exhausted for weeks. Outside comedy, he surprised audiences in films like Four Weddings and a Funeral and Johnny English, using his engineering mind to shape the spy parody. And in his personal life, he married Sunetra Sastry in 1990 with Stephen Fry, his best man, and they had 2 children, Lily and Benjamin, before separating in 2014, while Rowan later began a relationship with actress Louise Ford, who gave birth to their daughter in 2017. He survived a frightening moment in 2001 when the pilot of his private plane fainted, and Rowan took control long enough to save everyone until the pilot recovered. He shocked the public again in 2012 with a strong speech on free speech and faced backlash in 2023 after criticizing the environmental claims of electric vehicles despite owning a huge supercar collection. Even roles he did not want turned into successes, including voicing Zazu in The Lion King, one of Disney's biggest films. He has openly spoken about how hard filming can be and how he never feels good enough, especially as his relationship with Mr. Bean becomes more complicated with age. In 2022, he returned to physical comedy with Man vs. Bee and realized again how demanding it is on his body. On January 6, 2025, he turned 70, and fans wondered if he would soon retire, while the official Mr. Bean YouTube channel passed billions of views, and in 2024, the animated series confirmed a long-running fan theory that Mr. Bean is actually an alien, something Rowan hinted at long ago. Despite all his doubts, his awards include BAFTs, Oliviers, and Emmys. Yet he still struggles to see himself as successful, even though millions around the world see him as one of the greatest comedians of all time. A man who turned childhood pain into global laughter and proved that silence can speak louder than words. Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin and press the bell icon so you never miss our latest stories.